Every home game for the Chicago Bears, I get to photograph it. I work for the NFL in the LCC program, and we're changing it up today a little bit. What we're doing is I am going top 10 photos from that game. My favorite 10 photos that I shot. Number 10, this was a big play for the Bears. This was not exactly sure how to say his name, but St. Brown. This was a catch that he had about a 50-yard gain, and Justin Fields got popped on this play. He got smacked. Still delivered a beautiful ball, and the thing that makes this photo extra amazing to me is that the best defensive player for the Packers, who is Jaire Alexander, is the defender on this play. So it's him getting beat. It's the Bears clearly calling the right play, St. Brown outmatching Jaire Alexander, and just a great shot right here of him right before he catches it. Big play, not my best shot, but this is number 10. Moving on to number 9. Now, something that I was super excited about for this game was Aaron Rodgers. At this point, we don't know, this might be his last year. Now that I'm recording this is going to come out after, but the Packers might squeak into the playoffs, so maybe Aaron Rodgers will stay with the Packers, but who knows? I just was happy that I was going to be able to shoot one game with Aaron Rodgers playing quarterback. And this shot right here is a meaningful one. So you see it right here. I'm just going to be looking at my phone. You have the head coach, Matt LaFleur, on the left. Not sure who it is next, but then you have Aaron Rodgers, Randall Cobb, and then you have Mercedes Lewis, and then Robert Tonyan. These are all Packers legends, guys that have been there for a while, and especially Mercedes Lewis, Aaron Rodgers, and Randall Cobb. Those three guys, they're veterans. At this point, they could really retire at any point. It's just a cool moment showing these 5 players. Nice composition with the Soldier Field in the background. We all know Aaron Rodgers has some beef with the Bears because, well, it's been a rival for his entire career. But having Soldier Field in the background with Aaron Rodgers and the couple other legends right there. Love this composition. Love the shot. And boom, here we go to number 8. This right here was kind of a lucky shot. This is Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball to Alan Lazard. Now, whenever I was shooting this, I was probably just holding down the shutter, knowing that Rodgers was going to throw a pass and then moving the camera accordingly. But before I grabbed focus, it stayed on Aaron Rodgers. Before it grabbed focus on Alan Lazard, you could still see him. So this was actually a heavy crop that I did. This shot was not framed like it is. I cropped in probably by about 2 times, but I can still preserve that resolution because it's a 45 megapixel sensor. That's technical. We don't need to talk about that. But cropped in, so you got Rodgers on the left, in focus, just through the pass. You can still see the follow through. Alan Lazard catching it on the right side. Great composition with the Packers players in the middle. Kind of lucky, but I pulled it off. Number 7. This is a shot that I'm trying to get every game now moving forward. I shot the Eagles game recently. I got this exact same shot of Jalen Hurts, and now I got this one of Aaron Rodgers. This is actually during his post-game interview. They won. He's cracking a smile whenever he was doing the interview, and there you go. I got a nice portrait of him. Now, I did edit this photo. I believe I edited something out of the bottom left of it. Might have been a microphone because I wanted it to be clean of him. I wanted it to look like he was having a moment to himself at Soldier Field, which might have been the last visit that he ever had to Soldier Field. So this right here, beautiful portrait that I was happy to get, and this is just post-game kind of feeling out what's happening around the field. But I knew that I wanted to get one great portrait of Aaron Rodgers, and here it was with number 7. All right, I keep rambling about Aaron Rodgers, but he's a legend. This is number 6. This is a composition that I was really happy with because it's only him in frame. These were compositions that I was trying to get all throughout the game. Pre-play, you don't necessarily have the opportunity to get any great shots. So what do I do during pre-play? Right before the snap happens, well, I try and get unique compositions of the main players, as well as maybe grabbing a couple video shots that I can have for my own portfolio. Still shooting, still looking down the barrel of the lens, trying to get some meaningful shots during those moments, but you're not going to get a big play right there. You're getting ready for the big play, but you can still use those moments to get unique compositions. This right here, him calling an audible, and happy with how it turned out because you also have that nice background behind. This is because of the 400mm lens, and God, I love this lens. Let's move on to number 5. Number 5, we're back to the Bears. Now, I know there's not a ton of Bears shots in this one, but it's also because they lost. Having a tough year. Still gotta love them. I'm not a Bears fan at heart, by the way. I'm a Steelers fan. So from Pittsburgh, born and raised, kind of adopted that I'm a Bears fan. I guess the Bears are my number 2 team at this point because I shoot for them and I live in Chicago, but Steelers will always be my team. But right here is the most exciting thing about the Bears. Justin Fields. Right after he had a big run, first down celebration. It seems like I've gotten one of these per game since he kind of broke out in that Patriots game. Happy with the shot though. The coolest thing about it to me is his facial expressions. I love whenever you can have this telephoto lens. I'm so far away. He was at probably the 50-yard line. I was down the field, probably around the goal line, and I still could get in tight enough with a crop as well, where I could see the facial expression of him kind of being like, all right, we got this, boom, get out of my face. Number 4, and probably one of the bigger reactions to this shot that I got from other people. This right here is Christian Watson. So if you're a football fan, you are no stranger to the fact that Christian Watson is having a huge rookie year. Started out a bit slow, but now he's really cranked up the heat. He had 2 touchdowns this game. So this right here is a perfect example of why I like to have 2 bodies whenever I'm shooting NFL games, when I'm shooting football. So my one body has a Canon R5 with a 400mm 2.8, and then my B cam, which is just my old camera, has my Canon EOS R with a 24-70 f 2.8. I just keep that on this long strap along my hip, so it sits on my hip. Keep it on manual focus because I've noticed that the EOS R doesn't have the best autofocus, but I'll usually keep it, especially during these day games, at like f7.1, which sounds crazy, but there's so much light coming onto this field. Keep it at like f7.1, 1/500 shutter, pop the ISO up a little bit. So I lock focus about 25-30 feet away from me, so I know I'll have close to focus, and really just trying to capture the moment with that camera. In post game, I am using that camera. I have my settings dialed down a little bit, so I'll have like f2.8. I want that bokeh, I want the background blur. I can trust the autofocus a little bit more because the camera knows that you're shooting somebody right in front of you, versus this shot right here with Christian Watson. Whenever I pull up to use the autofocus, sometimes it just back focuses, and I've learned that I don't want to risk that because I missed a couple shots. This one right here was dialed in. Manual focus, I had it locked to where he is, and it really separates him even more from the background because of the hard shadows that were happening during this game. Right here you see the crowd is dark, the crowd is in the shadows, he is bright, he is in the sun. One more way to show this amazing shot and this amazing moment, and the cherry on top, which you'll see in another photo, well, you got the Bears logo in the back, which kind of shows him, yep, I got this, touchdown, get out of my face, let's go. Number 3, and I didn't know if I should put this at number 3 because it didn't have much to do with the game, and I like to always put shots that have something to do with the game higher. But right here, you got Aaron Rodgers, a great composition. My buddy actually grew up in Wisconsin, big Packers fan, and I actually gifted this photo to him for Christmas. So I have to say this is probably my favorite shot of Rodgers throughout the entire game. I just love how it's only him. You can see a couple Bears players on the fringe of the shot, and then the crowd. Behind him, kind of a unique composition because not a lot of photographers like being behind the play, but because if something happens on the offensive end, well, you're going to be too far away. But if I remember correctly, there was a turnover, and I just wanted to stay, get a nice shot of Rodgers. I got my one video clip after this, and then I got the composition, and then I moved right back up to the field. But this right here is just a nice composition. This is the creative part of me coming out. You can't always be creative at these games, but I wanted this to be a more stylistic shot. Number 2, and this 1 and 2, I couldn't figure out which one I wanted to make 1, which one to make 2. So you'll let me know in the comments below which one do you think should have taken the number 1 spot. I love this shot. This to me is one of my favorite photos I've ever taken, and it is coming back to luck once again. Now, call it luck if you want to, call it whatever you want, but this is lucky at the end of the day. Yes, I have my settings dialed in. Yes, I am prepared with where I need to be, but right here with Jaire Alexander, whenever he picked the ball off, I believe to put the nail in the coffin to end the game, and he was celebrating. The best thing about this shot is the fact that there's a Bears logo right underneath him. you have the Packers' best defensive player after they pretty much just closed out the game, and he's celebrating right over top of the Bears logo. When it comes to composition, this is everything. This is as good as it gets. You have the emotion on his face. You have the Bears logo in the background. What else could I ask for? Don't really know, but I love this photo. I need to print this one out. And here we are. This is number one. This is that I chose as number one because to me, this is the most difficult shot that I got the entire game. This is the kind of shot that so many people missed, and it is all about being at the right place at the right time. This is N'Keal Harry's catch. I believe it was about a 50-yard, 60-yard gain, and I was in the perfect place to get him catching this ball against his helmet, holding down my shutter because I saw it all happening, hoping that I would just get the perfect timing on it. And there it is. Right here, you see N'Keal Harry on the right side. You see Jaire Alexander on the left defending him. And this shot is just crazy. I don't even know how else to explain it. I can't be more happy. The composition, well, it's decent. The background's kind of distracting if you ask me. Yeah, you got the Bears logo in the background, but I mean, just the moment that happened right here, come on. It is perfect. I just think this is the best football shot that I've gotten this entire year. The moment that happened is hard to capture. I can get as many cool compositions as I want, like the Rodgers one that I put at number 3, but this right here is capturing what I'm there to capture, capturing the game moments in a creative way. I can put a creative edit on this. Yeah, the background, like I mentioned, is kind of distracting, but look at the catch. Come on. This shot is just beautiful. Now, a cool thing that happened with this is I got the photo, and right next to me was my buddy John, who got the video. So we actually got a post where they posted my photo, and then on the next slide they posted his video. Love when that happens. Kind of cool. Little dynamic duo there. We work on a ton of stuff together. But that's my top 10. Top 10 from the Packers game. If you want to rearrange them, let me know. I'm curious to see what you would rank them as. If you see any more on my Instagram and you think those should have been in the running here, let me know. But these were my top 10. Right there, that 1-2 combo. Oh man, I don't know. They could have went either way. I actually made 2 title slides. If you know on my Instagram, I put the date, the team on the first slide, and just one photo. I couldn't pick between those 2 photos. I ended up doing my number 1, the N'Keal Harry shot, because that moment was just nuts, but either of them could have went. At the end of the day, I do get a lot of good shots from these games. I gotta find that medium, like I mentioned, between being creative and capturing the moments. I am there to capture the big moments, and that's what number 1 was right there. That's what a couple of the shots were, but then a couple, well, I just want to get beautiful compositions of important players, aka Aaron Rodgers. I'll see you in the next video. I am going to be doing a top 10 for the Eagles game and then a top 10 for the Vikings game. And then that'll be it for this year. Maybe I'll do a top 10 for my shots. Every single shot, every single game, my top 10 shots that I like the most from this NFL season. We'll see. Peace out.